On this episode, we'll be talking about Genesis Owusu and his pirate radio tour, in addition to a personal theory that I have. So if you'd like to hear more, please stick around. This is All Gas, No Trash. My name's Adam, and welcome back to the program, and welcome to a brand new episode. Hopefully by this point you have checked out Red Star Woo and the Worldwide Scourge, and in support of that album we have the Pirate Radio Tour from Genesis Owusu that is going to be taking all over the place around the world, and there are some dates that are going to be happening here in the US, and that's what specifically I'm going to concentrate on. I think what I'll do is I'll have my personal theory on what those dates mean after this segment of discussing some of the U.S. tour dates, because I have this personal theory and I don't think it's a coincidence. So let's go ahead and get to the next segment. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the U.S. tour dates for Genesis Owusu's Pirate Radio Tour. To start off, we have Genesis Owusu performing at the Lodge Room on November 5th in Los Angeles, followed by Rickshaw Stop in San Francisco the day afterwards. That is November 6th. November 8th, we have him playing at Hidden Hall in Seattle, Washington. Shortly after that, on November 10th, it is The Empty Bottle in Chicago, Illinois. And lastly, we also have Baby's All Right in Brooklyn, New York on November 12th. So you can tell that it is a very short list of cities that are where Genesis Owusu is going to be performing. So I think there is more to this than one would initially believe, which will lead me to my next segment, which is my personal theory about what these tour dates are actually saying. To start off this segment, I do want to talk about Genesis Owusu himself, at least in my own capacity. From what I've seen in interviews and even articles written about him, he strikes me as somebody that is well-versed in current events, history, literature. It's kind of scattered throughout his catalog, starting from Smiling with No Teeth, The Struggler, and even now with Red Star Woo and the Worldwide Scourge. And this is relevant for the reason that I think Genesis Owusu is somebody that lives by his own convictions, and judging by the U.S. tour dates, I would estimate that he has drawn a proverbial line in the sand. Judging by what he has said on Red Star Woo and the Worldwide Scourge, I mean, he's quite outspoken against Donald Trump, Elon Musk, the MAGA movement, authoritarians, oligarchies, you name it. Hell, I thought there was a chance that he would end up like Kneecap in not being able to get a visa to do a tour in the United States, but I guess he was fortunate enough to get through. And to further add on to the U.S. tour dates, what also stands out is that there are no dates within the southern states, whether that's Texas, Florida, Louisiana. There's no tour dates in any of those areas. So I think Genesis Owusu has drawn his line in the sand about places he's willing to play in that align with him politically or don't align with him politically. And furthermore, what else is worth pointing out is Genesis Owusu is playing in independent venues that are owned by people, not a large company like Golden Voice or Live Nation. And speaking of Golden Voice, for his show within Los Angeles, he's playing at the Lodge Room, which is definitely a downsize from his last show, which was at the Fonda Theater, which was, it's nearly it's not 2.5 times bigger, but it's twice the size for sure at 1,200 seats, where the Lodge Room is 500 people. So he downsized and playing this venue. And I was looking at Golden Voice's calendar. They don't actually have anything lined up except for one show on November 5th. And I forget what venue it was specifically, but Genesis Owusu had potentially 4 or 5 other venues that he could have played that Golden Voice owns, and he's not playing any of those. So I think Genesis Owusu is actually taking a stand against monopolies, and Golden Voice is one in Southern California, having numerous venues in San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, kind of generally around Southern California. And yeah, I mean, to add on to that, Live Nation is not only one of the largest promotions in music, it owns a number of venues across the United States, and he's not playing at any of those either. So, it is my personal belief that Genesis Owusu is taking a stand socially, economically, politically, anything that stands against trans rights, that is that espouses racism or is pro-Israel. I think he's actually taken a stand and standing by his own convictions. So I think those U.S. tour dates are a reflection of what he believes personally, and these are states that align with him politically, socially, economically, and that's just my own personal theory about what what he's doing here with his pirate radio tour. And if you have any personal thoughts you'd like to share, I'd love to hear them, because I don't know if I sound crazy. I just took a I just took a peek at his website and noticed how few dates he actually has and how they're all in northern and western states. So it just struck me as odd, and I thought it was worth mentioning. I wanted to speculate on why he would do this because, as I said before, Genesis Owusu is somebody that is outspoken on a lot of topics, and I think this is him making a stand without actually speaking any words. So let me know what you think. I'd love to hear what you think about my personal theory. Maybe you have one of your own. Maybe you think I'm crazy. But in any case, thank you so much for tuning in. I certainly appreciate you checking out this episode, and I'll catch you all next time.